In general, you shared, nobody had heard it before, your experience with Bell's palsy.
That's right. Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you get the diagnosis?
This happened as I woke up one morning. So probably happened in the middle of the night. Luckily for me, I was away in the US, so I was home. So I woke up that morning. I tried to reach my phone, The mind wants to pick up the phone, but the body is not responding. It's a very confused state because I know that what I want to do now, there's a side table, I'll pick up my phone, lie in bed, and then you, in the mind, that's what you're doing, but the
body is not moving.
So I got to turn the other way, and my body, I'm like, no. Yeah. Something is going on. So now it's not the phone again. It's like, why do I need to turn like that? Then my wife comes in, That's small, hi, good morning. What? Is something wrong with you? She's in medical field. All right. One look. I didn't see myself, I was lying on the bed, but my face was already halfway down here, droop. So she saw that.
And she knew something was wrong.
Yeah, it's something wrong with you. Then now you can't respond. So in trying to respond, I figured out, okay, what has happened is you've lost total control of all of those facial muscles. So, like, are you having a stroke? Emergency, blah, blah, rush him, next thing, we're in the hospital. So we have looked at this condition, and first we thought this was a stroke. It presented like a stroke, but we have checked that. You don't have a stroke. You have been in Africa, so we have checked for Lyme disease, maybe got an insect bite because Lyme disease and some insects in Africa present this kind of blah, blah. But that's not what it is. We have checked, there was something like that, 4 different things. He said they are checked. So it's not any of that. So what we're thinking is, when we have this kind of situation that presents in this manner without a known cause, then what you must have is Bell's palsy. I'm listening to that, I'm like, this guy's telling me, I'm looking at all the posters, I can literally just imagine a poster with my face on it, but that face is now blank. I'm looking at all the...
Your mind is going wild.
Oh, man, this is all of my... This is that career that I said I knew what I was doing.
Yes. Yeah. Your mind flashes back.
Yeah, it's like when you say you knew what you were doing. You said the book said so, and the book. These books and that book, my father was talking about, they were in alignment. How could this possibly be? That was a significant emotional event.
Yes. That's an understatement.
Yeah, that was a significant emotional event.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you pause everything.
Yes.
So what next? You got to shut away from the industry. Just focus on other things.
So how long were you out of the industry for?
A couple years. I think I was out for about 4 years, about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So yes, you'd gotten the energy and the power back to do life.
Yeah.
Because Nigeria is a very funny country. Many times when we forget somebody, we move on. Yeah. When the person comes back, we're like, okay, we love you. It's now nostalgia. Yeah. And you'd been in this industry for long enough, you succeeded in this industry for long enough to have seen even the most talented people fall off the wayside. Yeah. Was there ever any concern that I may not be able to enter this industry, so I will do other things that will succeed, but I may not be able to be the Chude Mokeme I used to be?
As a matter of fact, there was that concern, but not in the way that you will expect. Because I always knew that, I might not be able to make it back to the front of the camera, but I was going to be the baddest director.
Right. You had made the plan already.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to be the baddest director. So that plan was already in the works.
I love that. So like, even if I may not be in front of the camera, but I'm going to be the baddest director.
Yes, I still want that.
Yes.
Adrenaline, the hormones that flow from being in that space of creating.
I love that. I
know,
love that.
Yes. So I already had that plan to move transit straight behind the scenes.
Yes. Shantytown. Were you, I mean, I know you've been asked this hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Were you expecting such a blowout? Were you surprised at the scale of the comeback?
It was surprising,
Right.
given the platform that it came out on. You know, I wasn't surprised that it was going to make an impact because that was intentional. I got into that job with the director, the producer, the cast, the crew, knowing that this guy came here and playing with nobody.
Is your faith a crucial part of your life?
Bedrock. Yes, everything is built on the faith.
Yes.
Everything.
When you were younger, did you have anything that tested your faith, or was it a smooth sailing?
Yeah, well, I had some conflict, I'll say that. But I was the kind of kid, once your father pulls into the street, everybody sends the message to say, tell Chude, his daddy is coming. Because they could whip you from the road all the way home.
Hardcore.
Hardcore, you know, so I was like that. So that meant I get to spend a lot of time indoors.
Right.
Then when you're indoors, you get mischievous, you explore. My father had a library. He used to lock his library, you know, but of course, he had a quote on his library door. It says, men are disturbed not by what happened, but by their interpretation of what happened. This was on my father's library door. So you can imagine how many times I saw that quote growing up. You see it every day.
Yeah.
So when I see that quote, what's the next thing? What's behind this door that has this quote?
That even made you feel like what's behind the locked door.
So I figured out a way to get into his library in his absence, and of course his books, all sorts of books. He was a readist. He read everything, everything. I tell you, I've read Krishna books, I've read Buddhist books. This is acquired. My father had all sorts of books, you know. And he was a church warden.
Right. So it wasn't like he was just a free thinker.
No, he was a church warden, but he had all these books. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. The man died even before I was born, but his book was right there. Most of these books, self-help, self-preservation books, were saying to me that, look, if you can think this, you can get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But religion says, no, honor your father and your mother. Do this. So at a young age, I knew that, okay, I wanted to be an artist. In one word, I used to draw, I used to cut my jeans, make new jeans, you know, PCC, make new designs just to be different from everybody else. Yes. And most of those things came from Okrika. So when you buy it from Okrika, you want to pimp it.
You want to pimp it.
You know? So I was very art inclined. I used to make birthday cards, you know, Christmas cards and sell. So I was very art inclined in that way, but no. My father says, look, you gotta do science, you gotta do this if you want a good future. So what was the conflict? He had this library full of books. They were telling me to go for it. But he was trying to tell me what to go for.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So when I'm with him, he's trying to tell me what to go for. But when he's not there, I'm learning how to go for what I want.
Yes.
You know, so we had a major conflict there.
He's passed, isn't he?
Yes, he's passed.
So did you have a good relationship with him by the time he passed?
Oh, yeah, we did, because it was sweet sour. Because by the time I've decided that I was going into the arts, into the creative industry, of course, that's a no-no. You can't have that conversation.
Your father didn't want you to be an actor?
You couldn't even say that you want to be an actor before you hear that he didn't want you to be an actor. You knew in your mind.
This was a no-go area.
You know? So one day, my father walks into the bank to do his business. I wasn't there. He's telling me, there. So they say you are on television. I said, if this is me trying to immediately deny and say, me, no.
It wasn't me.
They say, oh, wow, cheap boy. It's my father calls you cheap boy. Christmas has come early. Because he worked at the bank. He turned out his passbook. Back in the day that he used to open the passbook. Mokeme. Are you related to our Chude Mokeme? I say, you're Chude. Oh, yeah, he's my son. Chude Mokeme. Man, that's your son. The man is looking at the person like, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? And everything starts happening in the back immediately. He's off the queue. He's sitting down here.
Of course, you're a cheap boy at that
I'm cheap boy. I'm cheap boy,
yes.
you know. So
yeah.
I think that moment, I got tears in my eyes. Because I think that moment for him was him saying, maybe you should let him be. You know, so that was a moment for us. I'm like, okay, yeah, that was me. You know, that's me. Yes, it's me they were talking about, you know.
There was news in the media that you had opened a sex toy business. Was that? When the newspaper said you had opened a sex toy business, was that fake news?
It wasn't fake news.
Okay.
I have this conversation all the time. It's not fake news. Yesterday, somebody asked me on one interview. I said it was a quickie, fast response. I said, what's the topic you like talking about the most? I said, sex.
I love it.
You know?
Yeah.
And everybody says, sex? I said, that's exactly it. You see, because it's the one thing everybody in the world agrees on. No ethnic divide, no religious divide, no
racism
no
there.
racism, no body. Everybody understands it.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that everybody sets out in the morning, whether you have a plan, an agenda or not. You're thinking about it in one way or the other. You go to work. Why? You want to maintain your status quo, get a living, so that I can marry Nkechi. Why do you want to marry Nkechi? Back to the topic. You see what you see what I mean? Everywhere you go,
It's revolving around this.
Damn, this car. After I get this contract, I'm going to buy this Range Rover. Man, I've been dreaming about this Range Rover.
Yes.
Buy this Range Rover. You carry Ngozi. When you carry Ngozi, why do you carry Ngozi? Back to the topic. So everybody thinks about this topic, but says nothing about it.
I love it. Back to the topic. It's all leading to this topic.
All leading to this topic.
Yeah. So do you still have this business?
That business is one of the best businesses. That's how
It's booming.
That's how I know. They come in, and that's why we run it the way we run it.
Right.
Because they want to keep it hidden. You know? But I tell you this. More than 10 times, I've had stuff totally sold out in one day. That's the company runs out of stock
In one day.
in one day. From one client or a group of clients who have plans.
Who have plans?
It doesn't matter what the plan.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so I mean,
Yes.
it's in the thinking. Because when people hear sex toys, their mind just goes,
Yes,
know.
of
But
course.
I mean,
of course.
sex toy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something that you can invite into the bedroom without you feeling one kind of way. You know, if you want to use him as a pair, or use her as a pair,
Right.
whatever it is, as far as you guys agree on it, you get the desired outcome. And most people don't get the desired outcome because their mind has blocked this part. They're in competition with the accessories.
Right.
That's the problem most people have. So they come in competition. So if you bring an accessory, you're making me inadequate.
Oh, that's a real problem for many people,
for many
yes.
people. But my guy, you are inadequate.
That's why you need the toy.
Yes. Because the whole essence of this exercise is to get to an end point.
Yes, to enable.
Most times you cannot get to that end point, either through the journey or through the destination. You need this dude, you know, to help with the journey, to make it exciting, interesting, adventurous, and also to get to destination.
Right.
A lot of times you're thinking about yourself. Then you get to destination. The other person hasn't gone to destination. Then you want to wake up 1 hour later and talk about food. No other conversation is going to go right that
Back
day.
to the topic.
Yes, back to the topic. But I tell you, if this one goes right,
Yes.
whilst you're looking out the window, do you want to eat something? Have fried rice, have kukobi, have pepper soup. Anybody who hears that will say, such a nice wife.
Yes.
They don't know there was a topic on the table that was taken care of.
You did your work in the bedroom
justice. You did justice.
I love it.